Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Friends, Datuk and Tan Sri, ladies and gentlemen. This is my Saturday, December 10, 2011 contribution to Pearls and Gems. The man who came to dinner, or rather, Fcuk America. A year earlier, I was arguing with my good friend Nazu Azhari, ex-Petronas, global oil trader, and Arabist par excellence, who held the view that the Muammar Gaddafi need to be ousted. I was strongly against the idea. I thought that it was an American planned thing because Gaddafi was not doing things according to the American plan. Then came this article by John Swinton, the man who came to dinner, and this more or less justify my position. Let me read what he wrote. The man who came to dinner. John Swinton, the doyen of the New York Press Corps Corporation, upon his retirement made the following speech. There is no such thing at this stage of the world's history in America as an independent press. You know it, and I know it. There is not one of you who dare write your honest opinions, and if you did, you know beforehand that it would never appear in print. I am paid weekly for keeping my honest opinions out of the paper I'm connected with. Others of you are paid similar salaries for similar things, and any of you who would be foolish as to write honest opinion will be out on the street looking for another job. If I allowed my honest opinion to appear in one issue of my paper before 24 hours, my occupation would be gone. The business of the journalist is to destroy the truth, to lie outright, to pervert, to vilify, fawn at the feet of the mammons, and to sell his country and his race for his daily bread. You know it, and I know it. And what folly is this toasting of an independent press? We are the jumping jacks. They pull the strings and we dance. Our talents, our possibilities, and our life are all the property of other men. We are intellectual prostitutes. You understand that you have to eat like all of us and therefore must keep your mouth shut. You are Jewish and so am I. I am Sephardic. For the sake of truth, I will give you here another story to the Libyan story. Just imagine a country where there is no electricity bill. Electricity is free to all its citizens. There is no interest on loans. Banks were state-owned and loans given at 0% interest by law. Having a home was considered a human right. All newlyweds receive US $50,000 from the government to buy their first apartment and to help them start a family. Education and medical treatments were free. Before Gaddafi, 25% of the population were literate. The figure is 83%. Should Libyans want to take up farming, they would receive land, a farmhouse, equipment, seeds, and livestock to kickstart the operation, absolutely free of charge. If citizens could not find the education or medical facilities they needed, the government would fund them to go abroad free of charge and would get some $2,300 per month for accommodation and car allowances. Cars were government subsidized to the tune of 50%. Fuel prices was 14 cents per liter. The country had no external debt, and its reserve amounted to some 170 billion, now frozen globally, plus some 27 tons of gold, which the new regime found safely in the National Bank. Any graduate unable to find a job would get the average salary for the profession, as if she was employed, until employment found. A portion of all sales were credited once a year to every citizen's bank account. A mother who gave birth immediately gets some 5,000 USD. 40 loaves of bread cost 15 cents, and 25% of citizens have a university degree. an immense project bringing water from aquifers in the south made available all over the country, free of charge. That is what the tyrant Gaddafi gave to his people. There are some 150 tribes in Libya, and a strong hand was necessary if the country was to remain in one piece. Every citizen was in possession of a military weapon. Gaddafi was not frightened of his own people. The so-called rebels who took over, so we are told, would not have lasted a few days without NATO air power, British and French commandos, and thousands of mercenaries. Those are the winners. Now another Karza has been installed in Tripoli, and the country can be plundered at the weakest whims and fancy. It takes only $1 to extract a barrel of Libyan oil, and today's price is about $100. Total, the French company, has already grabbed some 30% of the Libyan state oil company. BP is starting exploration, and of course massive contracts for the reconstruction of Libya will be handed over to US and European companies. Of the sovereign funds, only some 1.2 billion have been released out of the 170 billion. With the state of the European economy, I doubt very much if Libya will see the rest anytime soon. Now Libyans are free, as you say, but as Janis Joplin used to say, freedom is just another word for nothing else to lose. As Libyan queuing for funds at their bank's door are finding, Gaddafi is gone, and so are the perks. What will be left is a terrible civil war, the price of democracy. It is the joyous jiggling dance Americans do. USA, USA. When the government slaughters someone illegally, it is primitive, but it is positively Libyan. Wrong. It is positively American. Just saw a movie on the training of the US Army before going to Iraq. Soldier running and singing, "Kill the women, kill the children." Then we are shown the results when civilians are gunned down in the street by those braves, all on film. When they come back home, realizing what they have done, they just commit suicide. These are ordinary Sunday soldiers with families. We can hide the truth with prison sentence, but the truth eventually come true, and unfortunately for us, we cannot plug dikes any longer. Well, Mr. Nazru, I told you guys when they are all at it in Libya. It was for cheap Libyan oil. It was because Gaddafi has grown too big for his shoes. It was because the Gaddafi himself has become cleverer and gone into Africa. Chad and all compete for oil. Dr. Hamza wrote back to me, "Yes, Doc, you did, and you're absolutely right. Many of us felt the same way. But dictators, elected or otherwise, tend to ignore the rule that a leader must have a cachet of legitimacy. This legitimacy must be demonstrated institutionally by transparent, fair election. In the absence of such a basic institution, rulers tend to believe that they are there permanently by divine right. In such a situation, change can only be effected through violence. Pressures build up internally. A situation is thus ripe for foreign intervention to lance the ball. Case in point, Saddam Hussein of Iraq. In Islamic countries, there is often the romantic yearning for a benign caliph to lead the country, and dictators often view themselves as this benign caliph. This is the seat of their own destruction. This is a lesson that Hosni Mubarak of Egypt and Zainal Abidin of Tunisia demonstrated. This is a lesson that the generals in Egypt have yet to understand. Thank you, by Dato DC. My reply to Dato Hamza. Dato, at least in Saddam's time, people had their decent meals and they did not have to live within their own shiva, and Sunnis were not killing Shia and Shia killing Sunnis. When will we stupid Muslims ever going to learn that the so-called secular descendants of the old days, Ahlul Kitab, are not our friend? And I'm putting this too mildly. Where is my friend Nazru? He is being too quiet now. I wonder whether his construction business in Libya pick up with the new regime. Good luck to him. P.S. By the way, you have to deal with 100. If you have to deal with 150 tribes, all hardcore Jahiliyyah type, typical of Arabs of the desert and northern Africa, is not easy to rule. If you are lembek like NTR or Patlah and not spill some recalcitrant brains and blood on the tarmac, you cannot run countries like Libya, Afghanistan and Iraq. 1 million Muslim men, women and children have died in Iraq since the Crusaders took over. So what is the meaning of democracy, Datuk, if I may ask? What price democracy if that damn place is not yet ready with institution and people for it? Let us not join the bandwagon of parrots longing for democracy, democracy, democracy. Till we meet again.